Can you guys believe that 2021 is almost over? I know it's pretty surprising to me too. I know this sounds super cliche, but I feel like this year went by super fast. Now, with that being said, summer is clearly over and fall is in full motion. Now, with the changing seasons comes a change in the way that we dress. In the fall seasons, you typically ditch the shorts or flip-flops for clothing that is more warm, more heavier. Let me explain to you guys something. The other day, almost a week from recording this video, I went shopping to look for some new clothes to buy, and you'll see those new clothes in a second. And while I was shopping at these name brand stores like Zara, Uniqlo, and H&M, I noticed something very, very interesting. All of these companies were selling very specific types of clothing. That's not to say that all of these stores sell the same exact clothes, because they don't. Well, I mean, they do, but they also don't at the same time. It's tricky to explain, but I'll explain that in a different video. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Yes, all of these stores were selling very specific types of clothing, and I am almost certain that they did this with intent. Most of these major retail brands that you shop from are very much up to date with latest trends, which is the reason why you see something different in their stores every year, because they're always changing according to the market. But before you go out and randomly buy a bunch of clothes that you end up never wearing and then wasting your money in the long run, let me be the one to tell you what to buy, because you guys know that I am your ultimate source of all information when it comes to men's fashion, self-development, and much, much more. Oh wait, you didn't know that? Well, now you do. So do us all a favor and hit that subscribe button, because that will help both of us out. So without any further interruptions, let me present to you guys the biggest fashion trends of fall 2021. For trend number one, we have cargo pants. I don't know what it is, but for some reason cargo pants seem to be very popular. I go out and literally every other guy I see are in cargo pants. Now, I'll be honest with you, I never thought that I myself would ever wear cargo pants, but you guys know that I am always experimenting with new clothes and new trends, so I gave them a try. I gave cargo pants a try, and not gonna lie, they're pretty good. For starters, the fit is right on point. They're not too loose to the point they make your pants drop, but they're not too tight to the point where you feel like your muscles are being compressed. The pants are tapered right above your shoes, which I think is a perfect fit because it shows just enough shoe and just enough pants. There's not an imbalance of any sorts. But on top of that, they are extremely stylish. You can style cargo pants with literally any hoodie, t-shirt, flannel that you have. The possibilities for styling this are endless, because besides that, they also come with extra pockets, which will come in handy for just about anyone. I personally believe that all of these reasons, the fact that they're comfortable, stylish, and the fact they even come with extra pockets, are all the reasons why they are trending. So you guys know that earlier in the video I said that all these major brands change their closets every season based on latest trends. So I was kind of lying, but I also kind of wasn't. It's tricky to explain, but what I'm really trying to say is that yes, fashion is something that changes with time and with latest trends. However, there are certain pieces of clothing that never get old and have been worn for years. One of those pieces is the flannel. So yes, for trend number two, we got flannels. Look, guys, people have been wearing flannels since the 19th century. No joke. There is a reason why. First off, they keep you very, very warm. They are extremely snug. Since they are so comfortable, they can literally be worn for any occasion, whether that be lounging at home or whether you're going out for like a walk on a mountain trail or something. On top of that, they look really good on just about anybody. Wearing a flannel really gives you a sort of rugged and masculine vibe. What I like in particular about the ones that I am wearing are the double pockets that they have. It really gives a sort of rustic western vibe, if you know what I'm getting at. Besides that, I really like the color combination of them as well, because there are just so many. Plus, the color also plays into another trend of this season, which I will be talking about closer to the end of this video. Another trend that we got going for this season is vintage clothing. Now, I am 100% certain that this trend got popularized with people around our age, my age, mainly because vintage clothing is cheap, it is accessible. Many people don't have the money to go out and spend $200+ on a few pieces of clothing. It is much easier to go thrifting at a vintage store because you can buy a lot of clothing for a relatively affordable price. There are some decent things you can get from there. Plus, there's also this sort of vintage retro aesthetic that these pieces of clothing give off, which I think is also trending. Now, a lot of these brand retailers started to become more aware of the fact that a lot of people are hopping onto this vintage clothing bandwagon. So what they did to bring in more customers is to start making their own vintage clothing. That doesn't make the clothing vintage, but it gives off a vintage aesthetic. It's confusing, but understand this. Fashion is all subjective. This piece that I'm wearing from Zara is not vintage at all, but I do think that it has a vintage aesthetic, mainly because it has the writing of class of 75 on it. That's what I think gives this sort of old school retro vibe. Okay, so if you guys have been paying attention to the sort of clothing that I've been wearing, you'll notice that I've been following a relatively consistent colorway. That is what I wanted to pay attention to for the very last trend for this video. So yes, all the pieces of clothing that I have showed have followed a consistent color scheme of green, red, yellow, gray. All of these clothes fall under fall tones. No pun intended there. The main colors, besides the one that I mentioned, that fall under fall tones are yellow, orange, and even a dark blue. If you guys are having trouble getting a clearer picture of fall tones, I hope this graphic somewhere, I'll insert somewhere, can help. But if you want a better understanding of fall tones, literally look right outside your window and notice the colors all around you. Those are fall tones. Why are fall tones trending? I feel like I don't have to answer that question since we're in the fall. Anyways, that about does it for this video. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. If you guys did like some of the pieces of clothing that I had on today, I will link them down below so you can check that out. Again, this is my take on the best men's fall fashion trends of this year. Let me know down below what you thought of it. Anyways, this is me signing off for this one. Peace.